Should we do a quick test of in-game volume? Or, well, I technically did that already, so... So yeah, hello, this is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets for PS1, done 100%. And... Oh, that's echo?
Let me fix the echo real quick. Where's that echo coming from? If I just see your screen. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute. Give me a countdown and I'll take care of the rest.
Okay. Oh yeah, and I don't know when the game fades out, so I might end up saying go instead of just giving a countdown because I don't remember when it fades out. So, are we good? No more echo.
We are good.
Okay. I'll just tell you when to go because, like I said, I don't know when it fades out. Go. All right. This is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets for PS1. A not so well-known game actually because it came out near the ending life cycle of the PS1, which probably explains why Prisoner of Azkaban was never released for PS1. Although it does add the mystery of what would Prisoner of Azkaban have been if they actually made it for PS1.
Harry had managed to defeat Lord Voldemort, the greatest dark sorcerer of all time. But now Harry was back at number 4 Privet Drive. He was often locked in his room, and even though he was a wizard, he couldn't escape because he wasn't allowed to use
I'm quiet. I can fix that.
The end of the summer holidays, a house elf named Dobby appeared. Dobby warned Harry not to return to Hogwarts.
How about now? Does it sound good?
Harry Potter must not go back to Hogwarts. If Harry Potter goes back, he will be in mortal danger. There is a plot, Harry Potter, a plot to make most terrible things happen.
I assume this is good, so...
Ron Weasley and his brothers
Still higher?
George arrived in a flying Ford Anglia to rescue Harry from his prison. Harry told them all about Dobby's warning.
Okay, this should be good enough without the annoying audio peaks.
Someone's idea of a joke. Can you think of anyone at school with a grudge against you?
Draco Malfoy.
So, I'm gonna point out a lot of things in this run, and one of them is going to be that this game does not use colored book cutscenes like the first game. Instead they use the 6th gen graphics on PS2, GameCube and Xbox. I have no clue why, but they did. So,
Very pleased to see you,
yeah.
dear. Ronald Weasley, I thought I asked you to stop that ghoul from making such a racket. He's still dropping pipes over the attic floor. It's driving me mad.
Come on, Harry, let's go.
And they did.
So first things first, the dialogue in this game is interesting because we skip over most of it. And I am saving in between every loading screen because this game is infamous for crashing on book cutscenes or the audio locking up, which also causes a game crash sometimes. But just listen to the in-game audio or the in-game dialogue when we skip over it. It's ginormously great.
Hello, Harry. Thanks, Harry. Come on, Harry.
That's a lot of ways to say Harry in the same sentence, Ronald Weasley. Okay, so you mash text and press X here, aim up to reduce lag.
Harry? Ronald! Oh dear.
So this gives a sequence where if you had walked forward, you would have to have Ron explain to you how to move boxes using the Jinx. And ironically, the Jinx is technically the Flipendo, but they call it the Jinx in this game for whatever reason. So, I don't know. Okay, the ghoul minigame. You see, when he tosses pipe mid-cutscene, he tosses them at random. but after the cutscene is over, he will stop tossing pipes and then go into a default setting, or a default pattern. And I caught 2 pipes, which is average. The best I've ever had is catching 3 pipes at once. So yeah, now we catch pipes. Woohoo. So like I said, his pattern is the same every time you play. And that's never going to change. And they apparently decided it's a good idea to say, hey, let's catch 60 pipes. This is not redundant and boring at all. I love this. This is what I want to do the rest of my life. I'm gonna play till I die. And I missed one. Good job, me. And that's how you stop a ghoul.
Nice. What? Ah, that's much quieter. Now I need you boys to denome the garden for me. Go find Mr. Weasley. He's by the shed messing about with non-magical junk.
Also, for those curious, I'm roughly 20 seconds behind world record because of the safe scumming, so... Oh well. No world record today though, because that would be risky.
Right.
So welcome to the Burrow, where we will be getting a couple of wizard cards, tossing some gnomes around. No tossing salads though, which is a good thing, because I'm not into that. Also, here's a interesting set of dialogue.
Dad leaves his junk everywhere. It drives Mum mad.
Dad leaves his junk everywhere, guys. Don't you know how annoying that can be? Okay, no dialogue skip there. So, padlock skips happen as a frame perfect input, where if you... There's a small frame where you can... let's just say there's a small frame where you can press square to activate the door before the cutscene triggers.
She's been a bit shy lately.
And that will basically make it so you're going through the door mid-cutscene. And it saves maybe 10 or 15 seconds, depending on which padlock skip you get.
Hello, Harry. Pleased to meet you. I'm Guide the Puffs.
Also, her name is Guide the Puffskein.
Whenever you get a wizard card, it is there are 2 types of famous witch.
Okay, so this Puffskein you have to keep in camera. Otherwise it just runs off and does whatever it wants. And much like the first game, it will eat bushes and, well, fart out beans, I guess. So you do this 5 times, and on the 5th one you stay near the Puffskein. And you get awarded a wizard card. Also, this game is very content with bagging.
Well done, Harry. Here's a Felix Summerby. Best find Ron, Harry. He's gone off to see Dad.
Okay. And the Puffskein is really happy. I also get really happy off of baked goods.
Hello, Harry.
Maybe that's why I'm fat.
Wingardium Leviosa spell to charm and move the junk. Holding the X button levitates. Could you charm?
Wingardium Leviosa!
So the first 2 here are really easy. You just Wingardium Leviosa them away. And you can just stand in the same spot.
That's right,
And they will trigger when you press the X button. So I made a blunder during my practice run.
That's right.
I didn't drop the first crate far enough, so it didn't break. And it lost me about 10 seconds. So that's embarrassing.
Well done.
Daddy's junk? Hell yeah.
Thanks for helping Dad out, Harry. The sooner we...
Okay, now for everyone's favorite activity, denoming. The bane of my existence. Well, denoming and I guess also the wizarding duels are the bane of my existence to a certain degree.
Time to put the... Mum wants us to fling a nut. Once you read...
So the way this works, you mash square to fill up a meter, And the more you fill it up, the more speed and height you get on a throw. And we need a wizard card here, so we need at least 800 points. That's wrong, Whip. Okay, that's my one-off then. You need to hit the beehive, the car, and the lake. And then get around 70 to 60 points.
Nice one. You hit the boss pile.
Okay, now we hit the car. Hopefully. Okay.
You hit the car.
You can actually throw the gnome through the car without it triggering for some reason. I don't know why it happens, it just does. Also, gnome is really happy that he hit a car. That's not good, is it? This might not make it. Okay, good.
You hit the pond.
That was a bit risky. And this gives us 804 points. We only need 800 in total. But I'm gonna be stupid and go for 1,000 because I always like one-upping everybody else, so...
You hit the phone box.
1,000 points.
Excellent.
Yardley Platt.
And that's denoming number 1. So, there is one more denoming section, which is absolutely horrendous, because, well, you'll see in about an hour. Well, roughly an hour.
Oh, wizard, don't tell me you...
Is this?
Of course it's safe.
Of course it's safe, Harry. Are you stupid? This is wizarding duels. Of course it's safe. You cast Flipendo at each other, you cast Expelliarmus. It's great. Really great, I swear. So, dueling AI works the exact same way every time. So if you keep doing the same thing to hit them, the AI will react in the same predictable way. But if you miss one time, you might get an unpredictable pattern.
Okay, every time, and don't think... Okay?
So, let's hope I don't mess up.
Ready? Jewel.
Young Potter's going to have to be on his guard this afternoon. Fred
Too late.
Weasley's a monster tactician. Lovely work from Potter. Weasley's got his work cut out now.
Well done, Harry! You won the first round!
Get ready. Jewel.
And the duel
Yeah, I
continues.
got exactly 1,000 points a few weeks ago on the second denoming.
For a beginner, he's doing really well. Nice stuff.
Good second round.
Expelliarmus.
And Harry knows Expelliarmus because reasons. Even though he's never taught Expelliarmus in the first game.
Well done, Harry.
Good eye.
See that TV?
That will release.
Oh, I nearly forgot.
So, there are several special jinxes. I'll only explain them as they appear.
Oh my word. That's real skill from the youngster.
Press the circle button to cast that special jinx.
So,
Well done, Harry. You won the first round.
Green Jinx does double Flipendo damage, which is why I absolutely destroyed Fred there.
Jewel.
Great play by Potter. He's really holding his own. Lovely work from Potter. Weasley's got his work cut
Damn
out
it.
now.
Yellow is, or sorry, blue is a really fast one.
Nice stuff.
Which, it does the same damage as a regular Flipendo, it's just really fast. Okay, the other jinxes I didn't mention.
Wow, look.
There is a yellow one, which is an instant fully charged Flipendo. So when you tap the circle button, you cast equivalent to a fully charged Flipendo. And then there's a red one, which is a triple shot.
We need to find
And
Ginny.
that one is broken as heck.
By the way, if you find you're getting a...
So if you are really close to the enemy and cast the red Jinx, they don't have invincibility frames. So all 3 shots will hit and cause massive damage, killing them in 1 shot, more or less. So, anyways, so 100% in this game requires us to collect beans and wizard cards. And we also need to collect all gold wings in Quidditch and trigger certain loading screens. I don't like this position. Okay, this might be good. Okay, good. So in total we need 500 beans, which unlocks the Flipendo Duo.
Leviosa.
And out of those 500 beans, we spent 250 buying wizard cards. And there's 5 wizard cards to buy in total, 50 each. So that is the 100% requirements in this game.
Wingardium Leviosa.
So these lawnmowers are kind of bad, because when you destroy them, their hitbox does not go away immediately. So you can literally destroy a lawnmower and still take damage. This is played on an American PS2 with fast disk speed, which is why the loading screens are so short.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Okay, this padlock skip I've never gotten. I never understand what camera angle I get there, so it's really hard to tell how you get that. This one I can get, usually. Damn it. Didn't get it. That's a shame. What can sometimes happen with padlock skips, the game registers your input. It just stores it until the cutscene is over, so once the cutscene is over you will go through the door. For some really weird reason. Also the music vanishes here because I believe there's too much going on
Leviosa.
at the time for the game to be able to repeat the audio tracks. When it's sub 220. Once I learn full death day skip, probably. Also, this is reminiscent of Forbidden Forest in, let's see if I can get this. No. That's okay. You can actually glitch your way up the tree, where you like zip up to it, but it's really hard to get. Okay, these boxes are super annoying. You cannot grab the second one, so you have to make a really awkward jump to get onto it.
Hengist of Woodcroft.
But we got it, so that's good. And now we're at 3 wizard cards, and I'm 1 bean short than what I would normally be, but that's okay. We can rectify this later.
Wingardium Leviosa.
So we're almost done with the barrows. We just need to collect the Remember All, which Ginny Weasley gives to us, even though they're poor as heck. I don't know why.
Oh, hi, Harry.
Thank goodness you came, Kappa. So on any percent you would actually turn the camera here when you pick up the Remember All. That prevents run from spawning.
There you are. Nice work, Harry.
And then when you go out the same door you came in, what would happen is you go through the door, then go back in, and you would be teleported to Hogwarts into the common room. And that skips over the Floo Powder section and the Whomping Willow.
Blue powder before.
When you're in the fireplace, and keep your elbows.
Mind you get out at the right time.
Are you sure? Piece of cake. Diagon Alley.
Okay, I am gonna focus here, so I don't know if you have donations to read, but now could be a good time. God damn it. That section lags a lot, and I got a jump there, which made it impossible to turn. So, that's unfortunate. Okay.
Harry had no idea where he was. All he could tell was that he wasn't in Diagon Alley. Evil-looking masks stared down from the wall, and rusty spiked instruments hung from the ceiling.
The sooner I get out of here, the better.
Harry heard a noise from the door nearby, and two
I didn't know getting into Slytherin common room was that bad for some people.
Harry looked quickly around and spotted a large black cabinet. He shot inside it and pulled the doors closed, leaving a small crack to peer through. Seconds later, a bell clanged, and Draco Malfoy stepped into the shop.
Gasp.
The
How
man who
scary.
was with Draco could only be his father, Lucius Malfoy.
Touch nothing, Draco.
Mr. Malfoy was trying to sell the shopkeeper certain dark magical items that he didn't want the Ministry of Magic to find out about.
Well, not wrong there,
Harry
Rassilon.
went to Flux to buy his books. While he was in there, Gilderoy Lockhart, Hogwarts' new defense against the dark arts teacher, was signing his latest book.
Nice big smile, Harry. Together you and I were at the front page.
Harry met up with Ron and Ginny Weasley. Lucius and Draco Malfoy were also there.
Famous Harry Potter. Can't even go into a bookshop without making the front page.
Ginny, who was very fond of Harry, defended him.
Leave him alone. He didn't want all that.
Lucius Malfoy insulted the scruffy state of the second-hand books Ginny had bought.
I suppose those books are the best your father can give you.
Lucius plucked a copy of A Beginner's Guide to Transformation from Ginny's cauldron, examined it briefly, and then replaced it. No one at that time realized how much of an effect this gesture from Lucius Malfoy would have on their lives, and they all left the shop none the wiser. They found the car in Charing Cross Road, and after
Notice
making it
how
over
they
to
have
the
their casual
village,
outfit
they
on
stopped
here.
to wonder. They saw the Hogwarts Express far
Both
away.
Harry and Ron have their casual outfit on. And now notice in this next section.
Looks like
Suddenly they have their Gryffindor outfit on.
Check out that tunnel.
Because why not?
Looks like we found the train, Ron. Try not to scratch the paintwork or my dad will kill me. Pick up the speed boost to stay ahead of the train. And watch out for any obstacles.
What was that, Ron? Don't scratch the paintwork, you say? Okay. Oops. Well, Ron is gonna die now. Rip Ronald. So this is an auto-scroller. And this auto-scroller has a wizard card. So, woo. But we will not collect the wizard card yet. That's for the next section. So for each speed boost you miss, you lose about half a second. So I'm gonna try and get them all. And each secret area you go into which you did not intend to go into, will lose about 3 seconds. So try to avoid the secret areas unless you're in deep trouble, because the secret areas will put you very further ahead. Whoops. The secret areas will put you further ahead of the train if you're really close to getting caught. But there's no point to them otherwise, except the one secret that has a wizard card. Okay.
Keep going, Harry. We've got to reach the end of the tunnel soon.
Hey, Nikki. So now the game changes a little bit.
There, Harry. Collect the pickups to repair some of the damage the car has taken.
Now you can actually repair your car a little bit. But again, there's nothing interesting going on here before we get to Whomping Willow, so... if you have anything you want to say, Arnie, you are free to say it now.
Excellent! You got a famous Witches and Wizards card. Almost there, Harry.
Oh, that's unfortunate, Arnie. Okay, I'll keep the show going until you can fix it. Coming up is Whomping Willow, and they dropped the shark on this one, in my opinion, because you can actually one-cycle the Whomping Willow,
Make it out of the tunnel.
and I will actually focus on trying to get that.
Try and land the car in the castle
But
grounds.
if I mess up, you will see what I mean by getting one cycle.
There's something wrong with the car. I don't have control anymore.
Mind that tree! Help! I can't get out! Harry, you need to get close to the tree and cast a spell at what looks like its mouth.
I told you, Ronald, get out of the closet.
Flipendo! 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 Flipendo!
There we go. So the tree was about to grab the car and then start smashing it on the ground. But by getting the one cycle Whomping Willow, you skip that phase and save about 20 seconds or something. It's really long, so... Resalon, I'll steal any joke I can just to sound funny, so people might think I'm actually worth watching.
Harry remembered putting the sorting hat on a year ago, and for a few horrible seconds he had feared the hat was going to put him into Slytherin, along with Draco Malfoy.
Not Slytherin, eh? Well, if you're sure, better be...
Gryffindor!
But of course, he had ended up in Gryffindor, along with Ron and Hermione. As they watched the sorting, Harry noticed that at least one teacher was missing from the staff table.
Hang on. Where's Snape?
And then, from behind him came the voice Harry dreaded to hear. It was Professor
Yep,
Snape.
gotta scam people into thinking I'm a human. I'm actually an alien.
Here, why you two didn't arrive on the school train.
Also, shoutouts to Lord Farquaad.
Turn, thought Harry, as they followed Snape to his office. Once there, Snape nastily admonished them about flying the car to Hogwarts.
You will go immediately to your common room. and I will think about how to punish you.
Nice Pac-Man. Nice. This is one of 2 times where you hear Happy Hogwarts, so relish in it, I guess.
Can you believe? Come on, Ron. No problem.
So here we try to get ahead of Ronald. Not that it does anything, it's just nice to be faster than this idiot.
Harry Potter mustn't stay at Hogwarts.
Also, Dobby has a model. He also has a model in the 6th gen version, but it's never used in game as far as I know. Okay, so this is the dreaded Colin skip. Good. Okay, we got the loading skip. So
Brilliant.
the loading skip there is actually more or less frame perfect, depending on how you hit the doorway. So normally we have to watch as Harry walks through a doorway, much like we do here. But with a perfectly timed jump and angle there, we actually skip the walking animation. It doesn't save much time, but it was one thing I discovered on accident a few weeks ago. And apparently nobody knew about it back then, so... Okay. This is one of many secrets. And we will of course be collecting beans. Everyone's favorite activity in HP games. So if you're just joining us, we need 500 beans in total to unlock Flipendo Duo, and 250 of those beans will be spent on wizard cards. But that won't happen until the end game, where it's literally pointless anyways, so...
Bertie Bot.
Also best wizard card, Bertie Bot. Okay. I like these secret areas where you go outside, because it actually looks really nice. Get the bean, Harry. So I am a bit under beans, so I will get an extra 5 beans I normally wouldn't get in the library once we get there. But it's not the end of the world. This is a leg skip, or ledge skip. So basically you can skip grabbing a ledge and it takes 1.5 seconds roughly. And you won't be seeing too many of them in this run. They are more pronounced in the first game for PS1, at least in the speedrun sense.
Look.
And Ron is surprised Lockhart can get his fat head through the doorway. Or maybe he says big head, I'm not sure. It doesn't matter anyways. Harry Potter wizard card is better. I mean, why not?
Pick snap?
I'm sorry.
Oh, Ron.
Pig Snout is actually used in on 6th gen for the password to Fred and George. So there are 2 secret areas in the library, and one of them actually does not count percentage. So we will be skipping that one.
You look happy.
That, in fact,
Is her
of course.
Also, the Jinx only works when the game says it works, for some arbitrary reason, much like the first game. Okay, this is the secret area that matters, and you will see a... well, I call it magic trick. It really isn't a magic trick. And it's not even a multitask of sorts. It just looks cool if I do it right. So one thing I heard about the first game is that they had one guy dedicated to just placing beans in the first game. And that makes me wonder if they had one guy dedicated to just placing beans in the second game. Probably not. So you shoot this, shoot that, and there you go. Normally it looks better when I get a different shooting angle, but it works. Also, Harry has found himself. No more existential crisis for him. And shooting each of these books gives 5 points, but since house points don't actually matter in this run, we will not be collecting, well, we will not be collecting house points beyond the means or what is necessary. So the only points we get are story scripted, at least for a 100% run. Okay, let's see if I can get the snipe up here. It's a really tight one, so... Damn it.
Harry. The path, Harry.
Getting that early is really tough. But it might save a few frames getting it that way, or it might not matter at all. Harry's card looks very similar to Merlin. Yeah. So you can actually trigger run there if you walk too close to him. Okay, so now is when the game gets a bit glitchy. So the game intends you on walking into certain triggers. But we're gonna skip a trigger, holding down and left.
We made it!
And that will store Hermione and Ron inside the common room until we go back into the common room, which will not happen for quite a while. So they're just gonna be there forever. And if you do that, the game doesn't tell you, hey, you should go to Herbology now, which we will do. But first, the major skip of the run, or the first major skip, I would say. And I'll explain this when I get it, because it's a bit, it requires a bit of attention, because it is an interesting lineup, which is really hard to get sometimes. There we go. So there is an indicator on this set of stairs, and it will only move when the trigger is active and you shoot it in a certain way. So normally it will only go left or right. However, if we stand in a certain position and manipulate the camera, what will happen is that the trigger will show, and because we're hitting it at such an angle where it will go forward, the trigger is active, so it goes forward. And that basically skips going to 3 different rooms where you fight knights and rats. It's really time consuming, so I wouldn't be surprised if that saves several minutes doing that. Also, you saw Ron going to the front hall. Well, turns out there is no Ronald Weasley in the front hall. Ron can apparate apparently. I will give you a holo pretty soon actually. So this is a really hard skip, which I've only gotten once in my life. So basically you skip past Ron's dialogue, which saves a couple of seconds, but it's insanely tough to get. And there's a couple of skips like that, which, again, they are really hard to get. Once I get to Herbology, I will do a little bit of explanation, and then you can read donations afterwards, Arnie. So just let me finish the grounds and get to Herbology, and I will give you a holler. So Seamus will stand there to tell you, hey, go to Herbology, but we skip that. So now the game will try to force us to go into the grounds, however, or Herbology. However, if we hold left and skip this dialogue immediately, we gain control of Harry and we actually move out of the trigger that would send us to Herbology. And it's faster to go through the grounds now and get extra beans and loading zones. So, yeah. Also the giant snails, which you will only see twice in the game. So this is a secret area that was recycled from the first game. However, they made a slight modification. Because they put an extra loading trigger in here, or an extra zone or area. So this is Dean Thomas Football Challenge, but because this is the American version, they retained the name Dean Thomas Football Challenge, but in the letter they mention it's soccer. Yeah, I don't know either. Way to be consistent, video game developers. So this minigame is not necessary to beat,
If you can kick the timer will be
but we have to go in here because the zone counts percentage. So literally there's no way around it. And we're almost done with the grounds now and we'll go to Herbology. Okay, that was a weird camera angle. There is the Quidditch pitch is up here and this guy will trigger if you go too close to him. But we can just inch our way past him on the right side. So this zone is necessary for beans and for loading screen percentage, or game percentage. And this zone is actually quite huge. So there's a lot of beans here as well and a lot of ways or a lot of chances to gain house points, but we only get what's necessary. So get these beans and then it's back to Herbology. So that much like the first game, you have to do a little race sequence in order to get to class. But they changed it this time, so there's 2 races. And beating this target time will actually award you a cup of sorts. And you need to gather all 4 cups. 2 race cup and 2 classroom grade A cups to get a wizard card. And around here is the trigger. Okay. So this trigger would be stored later if I skipped it. And it's easier to just get it now and not go through the door later. Okay, so quick mention on the classes. There are regular inputs and there are perfect inputs. Perfect inputs count higher percentage, and we need a certain percentage in order to get an A. But first we need to get through this. And this is ironically the hardest one in the whole run. Okay, you can actually skip grabbing the ledge there, but it's really hard. And I think I have rambled a lot, so Arnie, if you have donations, go right ahead.
Okay, so we have a lot of donations we have to get through. We have a $2.50 donation from Misha, who says, "I enjoy this SLS." That's for the last run, I guess. And we have $10 from Anime Game Kid, who says $10 for Starlight Sims Harry Potter 3 run. We have another $2 from Prilla, who just says Flipendo. And then we have $20 from UG, who says, "You got this, Whip. Make sure you keep Dad's drunk in check. If it gets out of hand in Hogwarts, he might be killed, or worse, expelled."
Thanks, UG.
Please be and watch my complete. Get ready.
So I'm actually gonna focus on this.
Perfect. 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 Most impressive. Perfect. 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 Perfect.
Oh, you guys.
Bravo. Perfect. 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 Perfect.
Okay, so just for reference, you don't necessarily need 100% in all free lessons or free challenges. I believe the lowest you need is 87, 91, 95 or something like that for a minimum of an A rank or grade A.
Potter.
So we're halfway done with the challenge cups or trophies, I'm not sure. So this game is actually a lot more faithful to the book than any of the other versions, I suppose. I only know 6th gen in this version and the PC version, so unfortunately I cannot speak for GBA or
This is
GBC.
a mandrake. Its cry is very dangerous. I need you to collect at least 3 mandrakes from this greenhouse. Of course, the more mandrakes you collect, the more house...
So defeating the snails here will actually also give house points, and we will be getting a lot of those.
Harry, what?
Speak up, Hermione. Oh, that's not her name. Never mind.
That mandrake's being attacked by those giant slugs. Keep this once the slugs. Good luck.
Oh, it's 85 and above. I've never bothered checking, so...
Incendio!
Also, for those of you who know the first game, we just learned Incendio again, except it's named Incendio Duo, which means we can just cast it without having to prepare, I guess. Also, the game gives the false implication that you have to fully charge an Incendio in order for it to work, but you can just semi-charge it and it will still work. Also, remember these snails, the yellow ones in particular, they take 4 hits. You'll be seeing them again later on the death day. And now we start collecting mandrakes because we only need 3 to get out of the class. No leg skip. So leg skip is when you land and you try to go through a doorway or a bookcase, you have to watch an animation of Harry landing, unless you're standing on the exact spot where Harry would open the door immediately. It saves a couple of frames, but it's, you know, it's not a huge deal. Okay, so this is the last mandrake. Also, if you see any graphical glitches, like everything turning black or everything looks like a void or things disappear, it's just this game being bad, so don't worry about it.
Well done. There's 25.
And that is herbology. Okay, next up we have Quidditch Practice, but before we do that we will skip a little cutscene. So we're supposed to see a cutscene of Hedwig giving us a letter from Oliver Wood telling us, "Yo Harry, go to Quidditch Practice. Your lover, Oliver Wood. Hashtag no homo." Well, he doesn't say that, but... well, I did put in that bit on my own, so... Anyways. We will still have Hedwig telling us, "Yo, we're gonna show you the way to the Quidditch pitch. Because I'm a nice owl." But we can just outrun Hedwig and be like, "Yo, I know the way." And then we can make a horrible meme called "Do You Know the Way?" Which is a great meme, by the way. Also, the camera is really weird here. So you saw Neville earlier. His doorway leads to a secret, which does not count percentage. And it's the only other secret in the game that does not count percentage. So, from this point on, we will not be skipping any more secrets. This guy will talk to you if you get too close, which is why we skip him.
All right, Harry. Grab your broomstick and we'll begin the training. Welcome to
Okay, there is not a lot to say about Quidditch Practice for now, but I will have some stuff to say. So, a glitch that can happen here, Oliver Wood gets stuck saying, fly through the poles, Harry, over and over and over. And even though you enter the next cutscene, he will continue saying, fly through the poles, Harry. I don't know why he has such an infatuation with poles, but he does. So, I don't know.
Good work. Keep it up.
And for 100% we actually need all gold wings.
And 25 heist points for Gryffindor.
And there's 4 in total. That was the first one.
Right, Harry. I've got 2 brooms. Here's the first.
Also, they don't tell you which broom does what. You just have to guess which broom has inverted controls and which one doesn't. So that's really good of the game developers.
Do you want so hard if you decide you completed you okay now for the first part get ready Pot.
So they are quite lenient with the gold wings in this game, unlike the first game. So they basically recycled for the most part Quidditch Practice from the first game. The only modification they made is the poles, and on the second part of the snitch you only fly through 10 rings instead of 20. But they made it more lenient because in the first game, on this section, you cannot miss a ring. However, in this version, you can miss at least 1 ring on the first one, so they are quite lenient.
Then move your hand over the snitch and hit on my mark.
Okay.
Fly through the rings, Harry.
So snitch RNG, depending on how many rings you miss and how you hit the last ring, the snitch will be in a random position. And if you mash X on the same frame where the snitch spawns in your hand, you will actually catch it immediately. So that's what I'm gonna go for. So mash X here and hope you catch it. Damn it. Okay.
Brilliant. For that performance, you've earned your gold wings and 25 heist points for Griffin.
So this is the last bit of Quidditch Practice.
Quidditch, this often let's see how you manage catching a snitch whilst racing against another seeker.
And it's the same Ravenclaw Seeker from the first game. Because reasons.
The rings, Harry. That's it, Harry. That's it, Harry.
Also, if you notice the rings turning green before I go through them, it's because, well, the Ravenclaw model is not an accurate representation of where he actually is on the map, so you can actually see him go through the ring without him going through it actually. So that's why the ring sometimes turns green. For no apparent reason. Other than great programming, I guess.
Good work. Keep it up. That's good. That's it, Harry. That's good.
Once again, you mash X and hope you get lucky. I did not mash hard enough.
Excellent. For that performance, you've earned your gold wings and 25 heist points for Gryffindor. Good session, Harry.
$25 heist points.
Hey Harry, I don't know. Yeah, what? That's true. How about here? Remember, Harry, and look, right.
So, Ron mentions the founder duels, which we technically know nothing about because we have not talked to Fred and George yet, which is brilliant. Okay.
Come on, Harry. You're gonna have to sharpen up.
And before you ask, yes, it is actually faster to lose because Ron has a very weird pattern of moving. Okay. Yes, Hughie.
Have you heard this? I wonder who it could be.
It's me.
Very latest model. Only
And these...
no one.
You'll pay for that now, boy.
Also, where did Crab and Goyle come from? Like, they just walked into existence from the trees. So what I like to imagine is that Malfoy makes it in as a seeker for Slytherin. And he's like, yo, I'm gonna hide in these woods until someone goes, oh, Slytherin got a new seeker. I wonder who it could be. And then he can jump out of the woods and be like, it's me. And then he'll explain the epic tale of how he became Slytherin seeker by having his dad buy him a bunch of brooms. Also, if you're curious, this is where the entire budget of the game went. This section, and Ron's burping noises. Can you move, Harry? But yeah, there is not a whole lot to add to this until we get to the actual Flux minigame, so... Yeah. If you have anything to say, Arnie, you can say it now, otherwise I'll just continue talking.
Yeah, you're good, Whip.
Okay. I will continue providing my colorful commentary. So... there are 3 sections of this. We just completed the second one. And for some reason the slippery slope does not actually extend all the way out here, so we can actually walk on the far right or the far left side and get up faster. Also, I'm doing really good on beans, it seems, so that's good. I don't have a clear cut of reference for how many beans I should have. Except for we're near the end game where I know one last section has 25 beans. So at some point I just know I need at least 475 beans. Okay, Flux minigame. So you use Fang's bowl to catch the slugs, and then you move them into a barrel. And you have to catch at least 20 into the barrel. And you're on a timer, because reasons.
Right, Harry, we move. Good luck.
Thank you, Hagrid.
Well done.
That was actually perfect RNG right there. So that's really good. Okay, so my health is a bit iffy because on the next race,
How are you feeling, Ron?
the knights, they deal double damage, meaning they do 2 hits worth of damage. And I'm 2 hits away from dying.
Well, defense.
Also, I like calling this defense against the dark farts, because we all like a good fart joke here. Defense against the dark shards. Sure, why not? Spend half a day vomiting slugs. You know, why not? Everybody gotta love that. Nice emotes, Pac-Man. So there is a cutscene trigger we will skip here, and because we skipped this cutscene, basically it's gonna be stored there forever.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay. I've never seen that before. So what's supposed to happen there is you walk into the cutscene with Hermione and Ron shows up. Hermione says, this is gonna be an interesting lesson. And Ron is gonna make a comment. But Ron wasn't there, so the game just skipped his dialogue. I've never in my life seen that. Also, this is scary. But this is usually quite lenient, so... Well, the time here is more lenient than in Herbology, so... Unless something goes really wrong, we should be fine. This skips a ledge grab, so... And it actually depends on where you're standing. So these tables themselves are actually RNG in whether they go up or down. And in this room in particular, Harry is not very good at grabbing onto them, so... It's usually a safer bet to just wait for them to go down. Also, this moving platform, you can get a really interesting grab. So the interesting grab is where you grab onto it, but the platform keeps moving, and you're just climbing onto it in the air. But you can still get a jump off the air, so you should be fine still. Nice emotes. Okay. Defense against the Dark Arts. The most pointless class, at least this one. But it does give us some needed items. Watch my expensive wand, Kappa Pride.
Splendid! Perfection! Very stylish! Just like me.
Also, Lockhart has the best lines in class, at least. They didn't make 2 sets like they did for Herbology. They made 1 set, so... Regardless, he will say the same thing over and over and over again. Even if you get a regular input, and not a perfect input. Dear, dear. You guys are doing it wrong. It's dear, dear, not dear, dear.
Splendid! Perfection! Very stylish! Just like me.
For anyone curious, I don't have a reference for when I should press, I just know the timing. And that's it. Perfection! Okay, let's go.
You've earned a great...
Well! I like the well he just does. Because you complete all the cups, or trophies, or whatever. Okay, we learned, if you didn't pay attention, we learned Petrificus Totalis. Which is not used outside of the classroom, like ever. They just put it in because it's in the book and movie, I guess. Okay, let's see where the pixie decides to spawn. This can glitch sometimes. Okay, it didn't. Are you... Can you stand still? I nearly died there. That would have been horrible. Okay, we are not very good on health. But we should be fine. This part is really easy, so nothing to worry about. Okay, so you target... Or you don't target it. I call shenanigans on that one. That wasn't supposed to happen, so we just lost 5 minutes. Damn.
Well done. Obviously.
Also, if you haven't caught on yet, get debated.
Isn't he one?
So, for some reason, if you die after the first part of the lesson, the game considers the class complete for whatever reason.
be... Perhaps you could...
A death day party?
I've never heard of it. Sounds dead depressing to me.
Oh, Ronald, you jokester.
The race for the House Cup continues.
I'm not sure how long the class actually is if you do it normally, because I have not done it normally since I was a kid, so I guessed it would normally take 5 minutes to complete the class because it is actually quite long.
Ravenclaw. Hufflepuff.
Yes, this game likes to lag. Quite a fair bit, actually, so... I don't know the history of this death warp, so don't ask me. Ask Purple, I guess. An ADM.
Gryffindor are in the lead on house points. The race for the House Cup is heating up.
So this next camera angle I cannot explain. Although it was explained a few days ago, because it's a 100% thing and not an any percent thing apparently. So normally, or in an any percent run, you would get a different camera angle here. But in 100% you got the camera angle I just got. So I'm not sure why it's different, but I've been told it's just different and it's a 100% thing, so I don't know. Yeah, no, Harry, you should not hump walls. It's a bad idea, I've heard. So remember the little entrance skip I did on Colin? I will try to do a similar one here in the front hall. Which, as far as I know, is the only other one that was known, maybe? So try to jump up here and fall through to the dungeons. There is a skip you can do here on Nick, but it's really hard and it saves barely any time. Well, it would have saved more time because I got the Nick animation where he tilts his head. So if you skip out of dialogue and Nick tilts his head, you have to watch the animation until he puts his head back in place. Which can in worst case lose you about 3 seconds. Depending on when you get the animation. I don't have enough beans, so I cannot go for the full Death Day skip. Okay, remember the yellow slugs from previously? They took 4 hits. That's 1 hit, 2, and 3. So for some reason they programmed them to take 3 hits here. I don't know why. You can skip peeps here with a really tight corner clipping. There we go. So coming up next is, I would say, the last major skip you're going to see here in this run. And I don't know if it's, I think most people call it storeroom skip. I just call it potion skip because we technically use a potion to skip past the lever. But then again, I don't know. I don't know what the official name is. I just play the game. And I would very much like to explain how it works. But all I can say is that it's similar to Slot's Brain Skip in HP2 PS1. So, well, I don't really know how to explain it. I don't even know how it works half the time. Okay, like this. Should be fine. Good. And that's storeroom skip or potion skip. And Ron and Hermione will of course complain because, so fuck you, Hermione. Sorry, Arnie, I forgot. I don't know if we're going for like a PG rated theme or whatever, so that's why I'm trying to watch my language.
You couldn't make it, Harry. No
May I recommend the moldy bread and the stinking salmon?
Watch out for Peeves, Harry. Feel free.
Happy Death Day, Nick. I think Ron has a present.
Also, Ron has a present and he just stands in the middle of the room. He's like, guys, I have this present. What do I do with it? As if Ron has never attended a birthday party in his life. Then again, he probably never has. So this is the Peeves fight. It's incredibly boring. No matter how much you charge your Flipendo, he always takes the same amount of damage, so there's no point in charging your Flipendo. And after you hit him a couple of times, he will start throwing food at you. So one more hit and he should start throwing food at me. And it's always the same, so... He tosses 3 items, goes back to the regular cycle. You hit him 4 more times, he throws food at you. You hit him 2 more times, and he's dead. Well, he's a ghost, or a poltergeist, so he's technically already dead. And that's the Peeves fight. So this is technically a sequence break because we were meant to hear the Basilisk before Defense Against the Dark Arts. But now we hear it here, so...
The voice was growing
also
faint.
notice the 6th gen graphics.
It was moving away, moving upwards. He began to run, his stomach lurching. Something was shining on the wall ahead. Harry approached slowly, squinting through the darkness. Mrs. Norris, Filch's cat, was hanging by her tail from a torch bracket. She was as stiff as a board, her eyes wide and staring. Foot-high words had been daubed on the wall above the petrified cat. Harry shuddered as he read them.
The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the air, beware.
So, for those who don't know this run, we're about to do more denoming. And this denoming, whoo boy, is it evil. You will see why soon enough. So, hold on to your horses, or whatever you like holding on to. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Professor Dumbledore calmed everyone down and sent them all to bed. Ron reckoned that he had an idea who the heir of Slytherin was, and both he and Harry went to meet Hermione in the library.
Yeah, no, Wizard, I've done that before, so it wouldn't surprise me if it happened again, but I'm not gonna hold my breath for it.
Polly what? Polly just to make the okay, and I'll get the Horn of Bicorn. You two had better get to potions class. When I found a place to prepare
Thank you guys for the good luck. I am certainly going to need it, because but first we do potions. And, well, it's just potions. You do inputs, potion appears, it says poof. Or the cauldron says poof, and you win. Easy, easy.
I suggest.
Also, for some reason, Neville is here. Look at the camera, Neville. Come on, don't be shy.
With this done.
Also, they really made this harder because you don't have as much time as you do in the first game. Can you push the button? God damn. Not my fastest, but it's pretty average.
Good enough. Now remember, class dismissed.
Yeah, good point, Wizard.
Of course.
It's nearly
I'll help out. I do. Like get. Oh yeah.
leeches.
All
right.
Okay.
So this part is actually hard, and it's because of one freaking birth bath. well, they put a tree right next to it. And it's so hard to hit, so...
Let's see if you can get it to fling them. When you reach, try and throw.
Otherwise, the same rules apply as the first denoming. You need at least 800 points. That's too far, I think. Yep. That's too early. So in case I wasn't clear, this tree and bird bath is the bane of my existence. Too late again, I think. Yep. I made a safety save for this, so don't worry. I will get past this at some point. But I made a safety save just in case. Wow, that didn't even hit. I want to get at least one attempt in where it works, so would be nice. That should hit. Good. There might be delay, I'm not sure. That should be fine.
Excellent throw, Harry.
Next we need to hit the... I forget what that's called in English. I know the Danish word, just not the English one right now.
Brilliant throw.
Scarecrow. Yeah, there we go. Scarecrow. So we need at least 66 points.
Excellent throw, Harry.
Not what I intended, but it'll do. Should we go for 1,000, guys? Yeah, we'll go for 1,000. Might as well. $99.
Well done.
Edgar Struger.
Well done.
Okay. Not terrible, actually. I expected way worse. Still, we're about 7.5 minutes behind world record, but, you know, we can accept that.
Thanks for saving me.
There you are. Did you manage? I got some flaxweed.
So I think I spent 2 minutes there, roughly. So this is the only Quidditch match in the game. For some reason they didn't want to program more except the Quidditch League, for whatever reason.
And as we join, slithering up,
It's down to you.
I can't shut. What's going?
All right then. Someone's.
There's the Malfoy. There they go after the snitch.
It's heading for the stands! Amazing! I've lost sight of them! And that's the only British English you will hear from me, because when I try to sound British, it just sounds awful. Can you fucking hit him? Harry, can you barge into him or something? I swear sometimes it doesn't even respond to my inputs. I also ruined your manhood, Malfoy. What are you gonna do about that? So I will intentionally try to miss one ring because it will set up the snitch RNG in such a way that I should catch it immediately. So I'm purposely gonna miss this one. Got it. Nice.
Harry's arm was hanging at a very strange angle, but in his good hand...
He held the snitch.
Aha, we've won!
Lockhart told Harry to lie back as he tried to mend his arm with a charm. A strange and unpleasant sensation started at his shoulder and spread all the way down to his fingertips. His arm didn't hurt anymore, nor did it feel remotely like an arm.
You can't wait to see Malfoy's neck in action. Nice.
Just toddle up to the hospital wing. Madame Pomfrey will be able to tidy you up a bit.
The next moment, Dumbledore and McGonagall were backing into the room, carrying what looked like a statue. Together, they heaved it onto a bed.
It means that the Chamber of Secrets is indeed open again.
Hermione whispered to Harry that it was about time he collected together the ingredients for the polyjuice potion.
As soon as your arm is better, I think you should go to Diagon Alley.
It was half term by the time Harry's arm was...
I don't think it's Colin actually, although I could be wrong. It looks like a Ravenclaw student.
Hagrid in Diagon Alley.
This is the last time you'll hear Happy Hogwarts, so relish in it, I guess.
Go and get yours. I'm going to... I'll meet you back.
And as usual, Hagrid goes to get drunk. Whenever we're in Diagon Alley, he goes to get drunk.
Harry, I found a...
Nice here. Oh, I am. Malfoy. Alright, four.
So Malfoy's destruction level in Skyrim is 100. In case you couldn't tell.
Please help. I'll give you anything.
So when the pixies pop out, it's actually RNG. They will either pop out really fast or really, really slow.
got any?
There you...
And that's basically it. I see you guys are bonding quite well in the chat. That's good. As we love RNG, we will do another game or minigame that's also RNG. Although the only RNG here is when the lacewing flies spawn in. So.
Welcome.
It doesn't.
Is this better?
So I'm gonna guess they're upstairs, because when I guess they're upstairs, they're always downstairs. So you actually get to see where the lacewing flies go. Which is a godsend. That was actually really good. Really good RNG. And that is Diagon Alley.
If you've got all your...
Well, you guys are having fun, it seems. Which is good, I guess.
Well done.
Did you manage?
Yes.
She wouldn't get. Here's the flux, and here are the. How long until?
I'm afraid we...
I hope you're not.
Well, of course it will.
I've got a. Come on, Ron.
Alright, Ron, don't block me.
This is my life.
Stay away, Ronald. I said stay away. You idiot. Oh well. So you can actually store Ron in that cutscene, but he decided to get a little too close. And yeah. Basically the game has an error handler for that specific scenario. They also have one for the burrows.
Hogwarts is. I suppose I. Good luck.
Anyways, time for more secrets. And beans! How many beans have you got? So we can get a padlock skip here. And it's basically the last one. Nope, didn't get it. Anyways, that's our last chance at a padlock skip, so we will continue as if nothing happened. You have to charge an upwards shot there. I don't know how to explain that in any other way. But you shoot upwards and that's basically what allows you to hit the beanbag. I guess it's a beanbag. I've never actually cared. Hello, Peeves. Goodbye, Peeves. We're about 9 minutes behind, so Resalon is gonna have to cough up several $100 if I keep this pace going. Okay, so we're coming up to a night room. And half of these knights attack you, the other half doesn't. For whatever reason. Have a good sleep, Misha. Oh, you said under, not over. Well, that's an impossible incentive already. I am a sick person, which is why I don't understand what people tell me. Well, I should be able to understand things in writing, and half the time I don't, because I'm a sick individual. So, woohoo. So this activates a switch, and, well, it activates some bubbles that will flow us over, or fly us over, I should say. And the last time you saw these, if you played the first game, these were present in the puff skein areas, but only in the puff skein areas.
Cassandra Verblatsky.
Okay. Nice graphical glitch there, video game. How far am I into Skyrim? I think I'm level 39 or something. I've played, what, 46 or 47 hours this past week, so... It has been one heck of a ride. On the left there you see Dumbledore's office, which we will never enter outside of book cutscenes. So instead we will enter this secret area that only has beans, which we don't need these beans. So we just need the loading zone to get the percentage. And that's basically it. When was language ever my strong suit? I need math and numbers and physics in order for me to understand anything. So there's one more secret we will go to, and then we will go to the Great Hall, where we will have to do a little duel against everyone's spoiled man baby, Malfoy himself. Also, this is my favorite secret area in the whole game. You'll see why very soon. So the game leads you to believe that these things need fully charged flipendos. They don't. So you can just semi-charge it, but there is actually a limit to how much you have to, well, charge it before it will count. So you can't do a regular shot and you can't do a minimum shot. So it needs to be half charged at least, or close to half charged. Also, now you will see why this is my favorite area. We're on top of one of the towers, which is a beautiful place. Almost puts a tear to my eyes. So we only need 125 more beans before we have 500. That's right, guys, I know math. Or math, I should probably say. You can count potato. Math is a pseudoscience. I'm an engineer. Everything I do is based on pseudoscience. Or, well, not really, but basically engineering is magical guesswork based on random variables. That's my best explanation of engineering in a nutshell. So Ron would like to talk to us, but we do not want to talk to Ron. So we will just skip past Ron. And he's basically not gonna be there later, so this is a case of a cutscene that does not get stored for whatever reason. Rip PS1 run, yeah. Okay, I got the slow exit, so if you bonk a wall and then hit the an exit zone, Harry will walk through it instead. So I'm gonna do something here. I'm actually gonna store run in the front hall. Let's see if it'll work.
Harry, yeah, why don't you?
Okay, it didn't work. So what should have happened there, if I hadn't turned the camera too quickly, we could store run in the front hall, so he would go through the Great Hall at a later time when we go to the front hall anyways. But I messed up, so...
If it is, go on, Harry. Better watch out.
Get ready.
So this duel works the same as all the other duels you've done so far.
Come on, Harry. And the round goes to Harry Potter. Get ready. Duel.
You guys are a great bunch. Shut up, Lockhart, you didn't teach me anything. Okay, this snake battle, there's a little trick to it. You can get an early, you can get like a double hit early on, but only once. Only once does it make sense to actually do it. So what you want to do is not spam X immediately, but you will wait until the snake starts moving, like this. And there you go, that's a double hit. But we only do that once, so... So for his shots, he will shoot in the direction you're moving. So move far away, move in a direction, and then as soon as you hear him shoot, you move in the opposite direction. I don't know why so many people struggle with this fight. It's really simple. Well, at its bare bones, it's quite simple. There we go.
Hissing furiously, the snake slithered towards Justin Finch-Fletchley. "Leave him alone," Harry shouted. At least that was his thought.
Snake is trying to corona me.
When he looked up at Justin, he was
nice.
met with an angry look.
What do you think you're playing at?
The snake was lying slumped on the floor, docile as a thick black garden hose. So why was Justin, and everybody else for that matter, regarding him with a look of horror?
Horror.
You're a parcel mouth, Harry. Why didn't you tell us?
Harry didn't know what a parcel mouth was, so Ron told him.
You can talk to snakes, Harry.
Hermione informed Harry that being able to talk to snakes was what Salazar Slytherin was famous for, and how the whole school was now going to think that he, Harry Potter, was the heir of Slytherin, and therefore responsible.
Do you have any more donations, Annie, or should I just keep going?
Dumbledore wasn't in his office when Harry got there. It was a very interesting room, however, and nearby Harry spotted the sorting hat. As he approached it, the hat spoke to him.
Okay. So
You'll be wondering whether
now we will see if I would have done well in Slytherin.
Stand by what I said before. You would have done well in Slytherin.
Okay, we would not have done well in Slytherin. So there's a famous book cutscene crash on that specific section, where the book gets stuck saying you would have done well in Slytherin, constantly in an infinite loop.
Then the office door opened and Dumbledore came in.
Alright, Annie, that works for me.
He's really very handsome, isn't he, Harry?
Harry nodded, still shocked by the sight of the bird bursting into flames. Dumbledore explained how phoenixes were fascinating creatures.
They can carry
immensely heavy loads, Kappa Pride.
They make highly faithful pets.
Dumbledore went on to say that he didn't believe Harry was the attacker plaguing Hogwarts, and he asked if Harry had anything that he wanted to tell him. Harry thought of the disembodied voice he'd heard, and his growing dread that he was connected to Salazar Slytherin, but in the end, he didn't want to say anything about them.
Nice. Now it's time for the Polyjuice bit, which, I'll be honest, there isn't a whole lot to say. But I'm gonna try a little glitch.
There's no what? Thanks. We need to finish the... Yes,
I'm gonna see if I can trigger the glitch here, so let's see what happens.
Ready? Ready? As I'll ever be. One.
I don't know the input, so I'm just guessing what it is.
Are you?
Yeah, unbelievable. Okay, I fucked up.
Well.
Sorry, language. So you can actually move out of that cutscene with Harry, and you will see Crabbe and Goyle standing in front of the bathroom stall. But I didn't know the exact input, so that's why I triggered the cutscene on accident.
The body said, we need to... Those are slithering now. Quick.
Okay, so, Goyle handles like a car on ice. It's not very fun. Really, there's not much else to say. By the way, the music you hear here, if you get spotted by the prefects in the 6th gen game, it will play this music, but in like a sort of condensed version, because you don't really get to hear it that much, so... Yo, Jody. Nice graphical glitch game. This game is literally held together by duct tape and steel wire, I guess. Be careful here. Okay. And that's that.
There you are. Have you two been pigging out in the Great Hall all... How do... People seem to... You must have... You know I haven't, Goyle. How many times do I have to tell you?
Yes, all graphical glitches are me splicing a marathon run.
A mudblood died. So I bet it's only a matter of time before one of them is killed this time.
And like the good guy he is, Malfoy wants to be the next one to die, so nobody else has to die ever again. Which reminds me of a game of poop called, Game of Poop. Also, she's angry, I think.
She's gone mental! Jinx the flying objects before they hit
So, all you have to do here is survive until the timer runs out. I know, super exciting. I really want to avoid taking damage if I can. What just happened? No, really, what just happened? It's not supposed to play that audio track so soon. It's supposed to... What? What happened?
I'm glad we... I wonder
I'm so confused. That's not supposed to happen, video game. You're supposed to wait for the transformation to finish, and then you're gonna have Myrtle throw the book. And then it plays the audio track. It's not the other way around. Oh well. That letter tells us to go to Lockhart's office, for those of you who don't know. Also, this is the last time we will skip the Basilisk cutscene trigger. I mean, it shouldn't soft lock. At least I hoped it wouldn't. I've just never seen that happen before, so that's why I was confused. I feel like that always happens at marathons, you know, strange stuff happens. So I believe it's canon that Hermione turns into a cat instead of a girl, Slytherin girl. I could be wrong though, but that's just what I remember. Okay, last class, and I'm gonna tell you right now, there is an issue with my capture card with Verdimillious, because Verdimillious causes a flashbang, and it lasts a bit longer on the capture card than it does in game, so...
Perfection! Splendid! Very stylish! Just like me.
Don't be surprised if I'm moving and the screen is still white, so... That's just because of my capture card.
That's you. Very stylish! Just like me. Perfection! Splendid!
She turns into a furry. Oh, you.
One more to go. Very stylish! Just like me. Splendid! Perfection!
This might actually be bad. And I'm not joking. This might actually be bad. Okay, good. That was really close.
You've earned a great
Crispin Kronk.
I don't know why it always happens on Verdimillious. Like, I don't understand.
Time to put the... Now, Harry, once cast...
Thank you, Harry, for not grabbing that ledge. Thankfully, these last a really long time, so we should be fine.
Excellent! Now, run along.
So I'm gonna satisfy everyone's perverted curiosity with these dwarfs and actually get cut. Or get caught, rather.
The House Cup continues. Ravenclaw,
So if this crashes my game, I'm blaming you guys.
Hufflepuff, Slytherin, Gryffindor, Gryffindor are in the lead on house points. The race for the house cup is heating up.
Okay, we're banning Wizard if this crashes my game. We have a volunteer.
Happy Valentine! How many... Ivory? My friendly card-carrying cupids!
How are you?
Valentine.
Oh no.
His eyes are as green as a fresh pickled toad. His hair is as dark as a blackboard. I wish he was mine, he's really divine. The hero who conquered the Dark Lord.
Interesting. And that was totally worth it, I bet. You guys are strange. Right, so Cupids, if their arrows hit you, you do not take damage. On the other hand, they move closer to you if you get hit by an arrow, and it slows you down a little bit as well. Also, some people say this music really doesn't fit the theme of the chase. I don't know what to think myself, so I'll leave that to your guys' excellent and very qualified judgment. Ow.
Harry flicked through the blank pages of the diary. Then he pulled out a bottle of scarlet ink, dipped his quill into it, and dropped a blot onto the first page. Excited, Harry loaded up his quill and wrote, "My name is Harry Potter." Then at last, something happened. Oozing back out of the page came words Harry had never written. Harry nearly upset his ink bottle, and then more words appeared on the page.
I know all about the Chamber of Secrets. 50 years ago, the chamber was opened and a girl was killed.
The name's Henry.
I caught the person who opened the chamber all those years ago.
Harry paused for a second and then wrote 2 letters.
Okay.
The pages of the diary began to blow as though caught in a high wind, and then the diary...
Ink bottles do indeed have feelings. Hashtag my ink bottle has feelings.
Harry saw that he was standing in a corridor in Hogwarts dungeons. Peering through a crack made by an open door was a boy of about 16. Harry knew at once that this was Tom Riddle, the owner of the diary. Then Harry heard someone speaking in a low whisper.
Come on, we've got to get you out of here. Come on now, in the box.
The voice definitely belonged to Hagrid, who, Harry now saw, was crouching down in front of a large box. Riddle suddenly stepped out from the doorway.
Evening, Rubeus. It's all over. I'm going to have to turn you in.
He does sound like a femboy, doesn't he?
That girl is slaughtered.
The young Hagrid rose up to his full height and roared at the top of his voice.
It wasn't him. He never. Also, spider warning right now. If you don't like spiders, look away.
Piercing scream unheard by anyone. A vast, low-slung, hairy body and a tangle of black legs, a gleam of many eyes and a pair of razor-sharp pincers. The thing scuttled away, tearing up the corridor and out of sight.
No!
The scene whirled, the darkness became complete, and Harry landed with a crash. Later, Harry met up with Ron and Hermione.
What's up?
Harry could barely get the words out of his mouth.
It was Hagrid, Ron. Hagrid opened the Chamber of Secrets 50 years ago.
Have you guys seen Robot Chicken? In Robot Chicken's canon series of Harry Potter, Voldemort gets or people make fun of Voldemort's nose. So he gets a nose job and people compliment him on his nose.
I'm going to the library.
Then James Potter smacks a door up in his face and ruins his nose. And Ollivander screams, "Such a pleasure to service the young James Potter." And then Voldemort swears an oath that he will destroy James Potter's life. Anyways, time for the sneaking. As if this game wasn't hard enough to speedrun, we have to do this as well. So everything is on a cycle here when you enter a room. And there's one really tough room, so I don't know, we'll see what happens. Also, if you can't hear Harry, it's because they messed up the music in this part of the game. So the music really deafens the regular sound effects for some reason. Okay, so that cloak is not necessary, but nice to have, because sometimes Snape just decides he's going to spot you, and it takes a considerable amount of years out of your life when he does, so yeah. Also, the AI has really bad vision, so you will see why later, or in the next room actually, that they have terrible vision. I blame my bad camera management there. Oh well.
Who's there?
Your mom, Snape. Okay, this next room will show you just how bad the AI is, or the vision is. So we skip the invisibility cloak here just to keep running, because she will not spot us for whatever reason.
Wingardium Leviosa!
So now we have to wait for McGonagall. And she can actually spot you at that distance, so be careful. And that should be fine. So walk right up her side, she will not notice you because she's blind and old. And this triggers a checkpoint. Okay. This room is really difficult to get right, and most runners fail it at least once, most of the time, because yeah, it's not a nice room. We'll see if I get it first try or not, but if I don't get it, it's fine as well, because there is a simple backup. Okay. So wait for Phils to go down and wait for him to turn around, because Snape and Phils are on nearly the same cycle. So walk close here, and you should get past them. It's actually really hard, and it's a lot harder than how I made it seem, so... This is the last room, by the way. This should be 10.5. So there's a pressure pad here that you have to stand on, and then you have X amount of seconds to make it to the gate.
This pressure pad has a different image.
So let me focus on this.
Objects to charm.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Should be fine. Okay, we're good. Even though I bonked, we're still good.
You made
Yet again.
that must be quiet.
Look at. So, you know.
Come on,
If anyone wanted to find out some stuff.
Ron, look at all the spiders. I'm going. All right.
So if you don't like spiders, you will not like the next 10 minutes. 10 or so minutes. We'll see how long it'll take. The sneaking section and Forbidden Forest will take me.
Hagrid said
Okay.
to follow the spiders.
Let's go. Forbidden Forest is straightforward. Even the sneaking section is straightforward, but it's just there are some hard parts to it, so we'll see what happens. There really isn't a lot I can say about Forbidden Forest at the moment, so... Spiders come in different sizes. Can you not? Interesting. Spiders come in different sizes. The small one takes 2 charge flipendo, medium 3. Then there's semi-big, which takes 4, and really huge one that takes 5. But that's only one huge, so...
Stand where.
So there's a glitch with that sign where you can get a proxy off of it and actually jump all the way to the exit. Screw it. Okay, Harry? This is the big spider.
Albus Dumbledore.
Elvis Dumbledore, King of Wizarding Rock, and Roll. And Fire Roll. Stupid snail. That was really close to the edge. Something I did not intend. I don't like my health as it is right now. Ideally I take no damage, but I can collect some health in Aragog, so... Anyways, the sneaking section is coming up, and that is actually really hard, so... can you get up there, Harry? Okay, let's go. That might be too late, I'm not sure. Okay. That's not the hard part though, the hard part is this. Too close to the middle there. You can try this as many times as you want, but obviously first try is faster. Okay, I have no backup for this, so let's hope I get it. Okay. The troll on the right here will actually spot you through the woods if you get too close. So that's why I stay really far back. Coming up next is a little glitch. I don't know if it's faster, but it looks neat. So you're supposed to destroy both rocks, but nah. Let's just jump through instead. Current pace is a 2:32, so...
I'm Hagrid. They've taken it.
I win.
So do you...
The thing.
Okay.
Go.
Okay, so these spiders are different because they take damage regardless of how you do it. You want to leave the red one for last. It's all part of a grand strategy. And now we destroy the first three. So move over here to the red one. And Aragog will destroy it himself. Now the big question is, will the car follow a path it obviously knew? Gaps.
The car screeched to a halt, and Harry dived inside.
Hurry up, Ron!
The door slammed shut, and Ron didn't need to touch the accelerator because the car was already speeding away. They sped out of the hollow, branches whipping the windows as the car wound its way cleverly through the widest gaps, following a path it obviously knew. After 10
I guess not.
rocky minutes, the trees thinned and the car
Genie drew a great shuddering gasp.
They were nearly thrown through the windscreen. They had
That's a
reached
good
the
one,
edge of the forest.
considering it happened at the end of a dual factor run.
Safely back in the Gryffindor common room.
What was the point of going in there? What have we found out? I'd like to know. That Hagrid never opened the Chamber of Secrets.
He was innocent. So we need to collect some wizard cards and Flipendo Duo and visit a couple more secret areas, and then it's basically the end game.
Harry.
Oh,
I am very... I also...
oh, Aragog meant... Moni, go to the car. Look, he's at the... Okay. Ginny will be alright, won't she, Harry? Don't worry, Ron. We'll rescue her. And
So we will not go to the common room just yet. We actually have some, like I said, we have some stuff to collect, which we will do right now. So we have some collection and some duels and some more areas to visit. And after that, it is basically endgame. Nice, honey. This is basically a puzzle area. You unlock a door, go through some different areas, and, well, there you go.
I'm warning.
She's warning us, guys. Whatever will we do? I just think chat is having fun. We like having fun here. Especially when someone gets hurt. Then it's extra funny. Kappa.
Why, Smith, if you want to get...
Okay, so this can actually be bad if I mess it up. So let's not mess it up, I guess. There we go. So there is a strat to avoid taking damage from these rats. You cast a flipendo at them as you go close to them. That way they can't move and they cannot damage you unless you intentionally run into them. Okay. So we've almost got the puzzle finished and gotten the wizard card. We just need one last area, which is this area. Also, this is super precise on when Vertimilius wants to activate. And there you go, wizard card collected.
Montague Knightley.
Now I just have to leave the area. This is our newfound wizard card. Montague Knightley, I think that's what he says. Although I don't know. Montague Knightley. Oh man, you boys and your little shenanigans. This is second to last secret area we will go to. Although the last one is technically not a secret area, but we will still go there because it's technically required. So the reason why I did not go through these bookcases earlier is because they both require Vertimilius. Technically the area I was in earlier can be done without Vertimilius, but it's a bit precise to do it so. Also, I haven't mentioned this yet, but when Vertimilius activates, you lose ability to move. So, I mean, it only lasts for a frame or so where you cannot move, but it's kind of bad if you're trying to jump and you lose all momentum.
Daisy Dodderidge.
Okay, now we will go back to the front hall and I'm gonna show you guys why we needed 500 beans. Angry puffing noises. So a door will now unlock called Out of Bounds. And if I had Manipulator run properly here, he would have still been in the front hall, about to enter the entrance hall, or Great Hall. But getting 500 beans unlocks Out of Bounds, and we get access to Incendio. And yes, you heard right, we get access to Incendio. Also, this is a interesting... I don't know why they made it like that, but they did. incense. So now it's back to the common room. And the door on the right is shut. So we cannot take the shortcut. Well, now you know, Wizard. Congratulations. You now know everything about this video, Huego. So, think back about an hour or so, or 1.5 hours. We decided to basically store Ron and Hermione inside the common room, which would have told us, hey, you should go to Herbology now. But since we walked out of the trigger for Ron and Hermione, or Ron rather, they are still in the common room, as you will see now, telling us now that we should go to Herbology, which makes no sense because, well, we've already been to Herbology. Hello, Hermione.
Like
hello, Ron.
Come on, you. I forgot how much I missed her. Godric Gryffindor.
And now I talk to the twins.
Have you heard about... Behind us is a statue. You can use it to find the entrances to the secret founder duels. Defeat each... No one we know. That's where you... To open up... Everyone knows that finding famous witches and wizards cards can be very difficult. So, it's a good deal. Brilliant.
Ignatius Wildsmith.
So basically, if you accidentally trigger Fred and George, you will spend 50 beans buying a wizard card immediately.
Brilliant.
And it's basically annoying. I've done that in a Duo Factor run once before.
Brilliant.
Herpo the Foul.
But you buy 5 wizard cards.
Brilliant.
Paracelsus.
And that's it. So now it's time for the founder duels. Oh hey Mike, how's the nerves before your run? Are you hyped and excited? So founder duels, they are essentially harder versions of regular duels. Well, for the most part. The Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff one is really difficult.
Good luck, young.
So we have to fight 3 duels to get wizard cards, which unlocks a special tower. I forget what the special tower is called. And yeah, each duel can soft lock for 8 minutes, where the game does nothing for about 8 minutes on both duels, while 4 minutes on each duel. I've only seen it happen on Slytherin, but we'll see what happens.
The match gets underway with both players quick into their stride. Oh, I say, I've never seen anything like it. Potter responds well. Great play from Potter. Oh, and that's the first round to Potter.
I was hoping he would move out so I could get more than one hit on him with the Red Jinx, but he didn't move, so...
And round 2 gets underway. Oh, a great move from Potter. Oh, I say, I've never seen anything like it. Potter responds well. Oh, that's fantastic.
Expelliarmus!
Ow, what lime.
Helga Hufflepuff.
About 12 minutes right now. But, you know, save scumming and denoming number 2.
Congratulations.
Took a lot of time, so...
Well, I expect this.
Okay, Slytherin is quite crucial because what can happen is it gets stuck saying ready or get ready for about 4 minutes before saying duel, and it will do it in both instances. So we could lose 8 minutes here if the game feels like it.
Well, you are correct.
Get ready, duel! And the match gets underway with both players getting getting quickly into their stride. Oh, I say! I've never seen anything like it. Oh, and that's the first round to Potter. Get ready. Jewel!
I'm not even sure where this conversation is headed. I should remember. Oh my god.
Things are really hotting up now. Potter responds well.
Damn it.
Expelliarmus!
I would have one-shotted him there if he had moved. If he hadn't moved there, I would have one-shotted him with the red Jinx. But it's okay. Okay, Ravenclaw left. Which is kind of tough because the guy is on speedballs. That's what I call it, at least. If you don't know what it is, then good on you, because you don't need to know. Yeah, redneck.
Welcome, I hear you. Get ready, duel!
And the match gets underway with all players quickly into their stride. Oh, a great move from Potter. Potter responds well. Great play from Potter.
Oh, and that's the first round to Potter.
You've been on the road for 7 hours. That's a long time.
Duel!
And round 2 gets underway. Oh, a great move from Potter. Great stop.
Expelliarmus! Whoa, you're not bad.
Rowena Ravenclaw.
I don't know, man. I guess they decided that free duelists should hold some very rare wizard cards. And they were like, yo, give these kids wizard cards and lock them in behind a portrait the rest of their lives. Because I assume that's what it's all about. Then again, I don't know. Okay, Special Tower. I don't think it's called that. I don't remember its name, so please forgive me. But this is your reward for getting all wizard cards. And you need the loading zone to get 100%. Well, it didn't say a name, so I think Fred and George mentions it, but I could be wrong. Harry Potter. Thank you, book, for saying my name. You go into the room, read the book, and go out again. I don't know if you actually have to read the book, but that's what the old world record holder did before me, so I assume he was knowledgeable on the game. And yeah, it's basically concept art. There's nothing else to it. Well, I always get confused in this room. Colin's photo album is actually its own loading zone, so we actually have to read it. But this is what you would do to repeat sections where you missed wizard cards. So really, there's nothing else to it. Okay, now we've done everything we can, so now it's only the end game that's left. Yeah, I can replay denoming number 2 over and over again. I love that. That's my favorite thing to do. I love getting screwed over by the freaking bird bath. Anyways, so Lockhart is a huge pussy who locked his door. So we have to go an alternate route. So you take damage on these intentionally to reset the cycle. And then you basically move through it. And there's one more room. This is the hard one. Or it's intended to be the hard one. Almost didn't make it there. There we go.
Oh, Mr.
Professor.
Ah.
So next up we have... Did you guys remember what we did with the flu powder section? We basically have to do that now.
How? No, where?
By the sinks.
Look! The taps are turning into snakes! Try saying something. Okay, I'll try. Open! I'll go first.
Congratulations, Harry.
We'll be right.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. I really have to pee, so I'm hoping to finish this run quickly. I don't know why this always happens, but it does. Right. So you don't want to get caught on the sides, because that wastes time. Hello, Ronald. Let's race. Hey, run is cheating. Now it's the speed run for run. Good. Slip and slide, deceptively hard. It really is. Time for my favorite voice lines in the entire game. Too bad we skip over them.
Oh, careful, Harry.
Lost it.
See?
I shall go back.
Oh no. Yes, indeed. The famous Lockhart. Oh, we skipped it.
Watch out for the memory charm!
Good? Well, not good actually. That was actually quite bad.
Ron! Yes, what do we got? Well, we can't get... There's only one... Okay, Harry.
Have fun shifting rocks, Ronald. So all we have left now is the trials and then finally the basilisk, and then we're done. So let's see if I'll need a potion here or not. We'll see what happens. That's a bit violent, Mr. Basilisk. Please don't kill me. So for this you wait until it gets close, and then you move down there. Okay, no damage. This is good. So now we're gonna, well, commit suicide. It was nice knowing you all. What? Oh, I had the cutscene skip. I've never gotten that. I've never gotten the cutscene skip there. What the heck? That is a historical moment right there. The first time I got cutscene skip there. I don't feel confident though, so I am gonna take the potion because of... So, worst case scenario there. I would get hit by the rats, and then I would have 3 hits left for the fireballs. And I have died to the fireballs while having 3 hits left. Not fun when it happens. Okay, so far the potion was entirely unnecessary. Okay, potion was incredibly pointless. This room has an interesting skip, if I get it. Good, got it. Nice. There's also a skip in this room. You cannot take damage in this room, so in order to avoid it, you move like this. Get very up close and personal with this knight. That way you can target this one and he will not damage you. And basically you're intended to destroy both knights. But if you avoid taking damage, you can just, well, do with destroying one knight. Interesting. He really wanted me dead there. And that is trials. Okay, this is the basilisk.
Ginny!
She's alive.
But only just.
Ginny's been writing in the diary for months. Ginny Weasley opened the Chamber of Secrets. She daubed threatening messages on the wall. So I wonder... Tom, I am...
Okay, so the way that the basilisk work, you get close to him and move away, and then he will attack immediately, exposing himself. That's phase 1. Time for the second phase. Much like the first one. Move up close, go away. Move up close again. And this is insanely hard because the beam moves however it feels like. Also, time comes up when the basilisk has been defeated. Once this health bar goes to 0, it is time, so be ready there, Arnie. Nice glitch. Okay, 2 more rounds and it should be time. Depends on how this one goes. I messed up. Okay, 1 more round should do it. Time.
Alright, Whip, your time was 2:37:22.
Pretty good. And that's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Done 100%. Next up we have, I believe, actually I should know this, we are doing HP2 6th Gen by DSB Mike, which I will help commentate, so hope you guys will stick around for that.
Silence except for the steady drip of ink still oozing from the diary.
Hey, thank you, Whip. Very, very good run.
Shaking all over.
Should I just... Yeah. Should I just turn off stream or...
Alright, we're gonna transition games now.
Right?